Good morning. It's Thursday, September 21st, 2017. This is the Daily Mix TV. So it looks like the Grim Reaper of the Shark Tank, Kevin O'Leary, is getting another payday. Plated, the meal kit maker who showed up on the popular ABC show back in 2015, originally had an investment from Mark Cuban after the other sharks bowed out. But the co-founders of the company tried to renegotiate once the value of their company skyrocketed because of their broadcast, and Cuban understandably bailed. Then Kevin O'Leary came to the table with an offer at the last minute, off camera and completely out of the view of any viewer of Shark Tank, until it was revealed that O'Leary was now backing the company in one of their Shark Tank update segments. He began working with the company to help them realize a more cost-efficient and better way to operate. Now, flash forward to today, and it looks like they're cashing out. It was just announced that Albertsons is buying the company. It's the first acquisition of a prepared meal service by a national grocery chain. Now, remember, guys, for Plated, the kits run about $10 to $12 each. They're going to be sold in Albertsons stores and through subscriptions. Now, while considerably smaller than the $1.5 trillion U.S. food industry, the meal kit sector is now at about $2.2 billion. It's red hot. It's slated to grow about 25% annually over the next 5 years. That's a big growth pattern, especially when you take into account the softening in spend and certainly the lack of confidence in the market. But you are talking about a 5-year stretch, and people are looking for healthier fare at a lower cost. So this does line up to what's going on in trend. Now, Amazon is looking to enter the fray with its own line, which we've talked about before, and then this Albertsons acquisition was allegedly sparked by the e-commerce giant's Whole Foods deal. You see, the problem is right now, this is not a surprise because the grocery wars are heating up. Amazon has really beaten the bee's nest of grocery because a lot of grocers are afraid of what the e-commerce giant is going to do next. Now, you've got a number of chains that are foregoing the acquisition trail. Normally, in a situation like this, the biggest players in that sector would start to mimic the first company that went in to effect change. So that would be Amazon with their Whole Foods acquisition. That's not what's happening. Albertsons is the only one that's making an acquisition. All the others are launching their own meal kit programs using their in-store kitchens. It's an interesting time in grocery, to say the least, but I have a feeling you're going to start to see even more innovation happen at your local grocery store. So stay tuned for that one. Now, it looks like Google is getting back into the manufacturing game again. The online empire has agreed to buy part of struggling Taiwanese electronics company HTC for just over $1 billion in cash. Under the terms of the deal, Google is going to get the HTC team that helps to build its Pixel smartphone, which is starting to gain in popularity, but it still hasn't really made a huge dent in the market. They're also getting a non-exclusive license for HTC's intellectual property. Now, HTC will retain the division that makes its popular VR headset Vive and will also continue to make its own smartphones. Remember, guys, HTC is an OEM, but they also are their own brand. So they do manufacture for a number of companies, as well as more popularly abroad, not in the United States, their own handsets. The acquisition gives Google greater control over their production of its mobile phones and does help them advance their effort with hardware, which is a space the tech giant has been beefing up lately with products like the voice-controlled speaker for Google Home and their VR headset. Now, the deal does come at an interesting time as Apple and Samsung are duking it out for mobile domination, whereas Google has just not been able to penetrate the category the way that they're used to doing business in other sectors. With Apple's announcement of the iPhone X amongst a myriad of other product releases, and Samsung attempting to turn up the volume with their Galaxy 8 and their Note line, things are getting hot and heavy in the mobile sector. But remember, a lot of this is predicated on carrier participation in terms of pricing. So we're going to keep an eye on this one. It's not the last you're going to hear of it, especially since tomorrow the iPhone 8 is officially released. It was available for pre-order a week ago. And then in 30 days, you've got the iPhone X available. So we'll start talking about the comparative on the Galaxy line out of Samsung versus iPhone in about 30 days once the X comes to market. Sadly, the Village Voice has revealed its final print issue. It looks like Bob Dylan is going to be on the cover, who is seemingly giving everyone a farewell salute. The issue concludes a 6-decade run of the legendary weekly with a 176-page issue dedicated to the people who helped to define it. The publication's owner, Peter Barbie, announced last month that they would be ending the print run to focus solely on digital. The last print issue features a photo gallery and a 50-page portfolio of prolific voice journalists, including co-founder Ed Francher, theater critic Michael Feingold, film critics Jay Hoberman and Amy Tobin, film columnist Jonas Mekas, art critics Jerry Saltz and Roberta Smith, as well as writer Torre, design director Robert Newman, and music critic Robert Christgau. The publication was founded in 1955 and is known for its coverage of New York culture, politics, entertainment, and nightlife, and will now live only online. Going forward, it will introduce new events, products, and editorial initiatives. Now, this is going to pay homage to renowned New York photographers and iconic photography from Fred McDarrah, Sylvia Plaishe, James Hamilton, to original illustrations from voice artists Steve Brodner, Ward Sutton, Stephen Croninger, Stan Mack, Lauren Weinstein, and Mark Allen Stamati. The issue also brings back popular gossip columnist Michael Musto, as well as a special installment of La Dolce Musto. So it's a sad day for New Yorkers. So many of us have grown up reading the Village Voice once a week. Some people the back page, most of us just everything else. But it's really a difficult time in publishing, and it's hard to watch such an iconic brand go digital only. It's understandable given what's going on in the economy, certainly in the environment, with consumer changing their patterns and how they view news, and certainly how they ingest content. So best wishes to everybody at the Village Voice, and good luck on your digital-only path. I hope it works out well for you guys. My name is Sean Patrick Hillman. I'm the CEO of Hill Story Marketing. I'm also the editor-in-chief of The Daily Mix TV. We would love to hear from you, so please email us at thedailymixtv@gmail.com. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Tomorrow's Friday.